Welcome to the Banke View Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have some fun today. I am excited to be with two visionary leaders, two men that are shaping real estate right now, not only real estate in the UAE, but also beyond. Welcome, and joining us today is Mr. Porush Jhunjhunwala, CEO of Banke International Properties. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are the driving force behind everything to do with Banke, innovation, integrity and growth, and the real estate industry. So I'm really excited to chat.
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, likewise.
Let's go. And Mr. Haider Ali Khan, CEO of Bayut and Dubizzle. You not only are the CEO of Dubizzle Group MENA, but you're also doing everything with the region's digital platform in property and technology. Welcome as well.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You excited?
My pleasure. Yep, absolutely.
We're going to talk all things properties, okay? I'm also looking for a property myself, so I'm going to be taking notes. I hope you will too. Together today, boys, we're going to be talking insights, inspiration, and the future of estate agents and the future of real estate. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So, questions will be to both of you today. And let's first start with Haider. What is the vision? What was the idea behind your property portal?
You know, when I came here, Dubai has been such an evolving story over the last 2 decades, and it continues to grow tremendously. And I think, you know, it's at the leading edge of innovation. So part of the story was really to build a platform that really hasn't been done anywhere else. And what I mean by that is bring the innovation, and frankly, we stand at a point today where, you know, we've done a lot of things that we actually haven't seen on portals across the world.
What things?
So, you know, a lot of things around, we launched True Broker, which was a program to recognize the best brokers in the industry, but we have a leaderboard so they can compete with each other. And the way you build the best quality of services, you get people to outdo each other, right? And so something like that hasn't been done anywhere else. You know, we also brought a lot of transparency to the market. You know, True Estimate, which lets you find the value of your property, a digital valuation, frankly.
Is that the green tick?
No, the green tick is something else, and I'll get to that. But you know, in the month of May, this is quite a few months ago, every other ready property that was sold had a True Estimate report against it. So people are actually getting more educated about what is the value of their properties. But one thing True Estimate also does is it lets you bridge that gap between a seller and a buyer, right? They have different expectations. So we brought a lot of innovation, and just to cover a couple of things, to the platform. But the idea was really to build a best-in-class, platform that continues to serve this market and is true to the name of Dubai and the UAE.
Yes.
Yep.
Dubai's growing. You got to grow with it. You got to
change. And stay ahead.
Yes.
Stay ahead, right? Stay ahead of the rest.
How do you see the changes for the real estate portals in like 3 to 5 years from now?
I think we're living through a very interesting era right now, where there's a lot of discussion around AI and what AI means, and so I think, and also I think we started seeing signs of this earlier on as well. This next generation that's growing up is growing up in very different times than when I grew up or when we grew up, right?
Yeah.
So you know, funny enough, our daughters go to the same school in the same class.
Yes.
But so we were just discussing GCSEs right before this, you know. So their view of the world is very different, and so how are they going to perceive and transact in the 5 and 10 years to come? Frankly, if you ask me, is a bit of an unknown. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to get left behind in that game, right? And I think one of the key challenges for any platform or any business is how do you innovate within yourself? Because usually you see a lot of disruption from others. Some other business will start and disrupt a bigger business. And I think that's the key challenge. And you need to embrace these technologies, whether it's AI, you know, machine learning, and see how you can start pivoting and shifting, which is not an easy task to do for established businesses.
How is your platform special compared to anyone else in the market?
So we launched 2 years ago. We launched Bayut GPT. The name kind of gives it away. But again, the idea was instead of using filters to find your property, start having a conversation with the portal.
So like an AI. So
it's an AI assistant, right? So
you can
instead of saying,
what you want.
I'm looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in this area, you could just say, hey, show me apartments that match these needs.
And does it remember what you're asking?
Yes, it does. In that session,
so when you come back,
well, in that session, it does.
Yeah.
And you have to log in. But again, the idea is can you make these conversations a bit more than just manual actions, right? And what it has given us in return is a lot of insights into what people are looking for. So even if you want to build filters, we can build better filters, understanding the conversations people are having, as opposed to not having that input and feedback loop, right? So I think these kind of tools, again, if you don't embrace them, you just get left behind.
Yeah. Well, we'll watch this space in 3 to 5 years, how that's going to change and go into the unknown. Porush, Banke is strong listing on Bayut. And how do you see your platform like reaching more people local and international buyers as well?
So the thing is, of course, I believe Bayut, their SEO is so strong. So anywhere where people are looking in the globe for real estate, of course, Bayut is on top. And for sure, anyone, like for example, the other day we though we have an office in London, but somebody wanted to buy a villa in one of the communities, of Imar. They looked at best villas to buy. They searched that, and of course, Bayut popped up, and from where we had a strong listing presence in Furjan, one of our topmost communities of villas, and wherein the client basically contacted us. So this is where we have over 2,000 listing presence on Bayut, and that's where it helps us to get more and more clients.
I think Banke has been a phenomenal story, right? They've grown tremendously over the last 5-8 years, and I think just he pointed out, we on Bayut right now we basically check for compliance, and we run a fully compliant portal when we're checking for listings. So when they have 2,000 listings or 2,000 properties that are being advertised, that makes them one of the largest real estate companies in Dubai. So tremendous job, congratulations.
Thank you.
High five, guys.
Yeah, why not?
Hey, look, teamwork makes the dream work, right? But how are you seeing technology now? Because as the AI is coming in, like, what do you see? Is it playing a role on the experience? Is it drawing people to the platform? Is it going to put people off from the platform?
I think it's playing at a lot of fronts. One is internal, like what kind of optimizations, productivity can you get by making tasks easier? And I think we all are doing it to a certain extent. So same thing applies to companies. But again, I think AI also helps us. And under AI is machine learning, which is kind of the main crux of it. And when we've built these models and tools, there's a lot of machine learning that happens. You need to train these models. Yes. And then you can make applications out of them. And we're using it all over Bayut and Dubizzle. We have about 64 proprietary models that are running on our platforms, and at scale they've made 500,000 predictions in a minute. Wow. Which is not possible
for the human brain.
Yes, right? So this is where you hit scale, and then when you do that, then you can look at the results of that, and you can even help AI kind of summarize those. So it becomes very, very powerful. You can do things that you haven't been able to do before.
Yeah, it's
excellent.
Yeah.
Porush, tell us something that you love about being with Bayut.
So Bayut is, first of all, their team. They have an excellent team as well.
Thank you.
And the amount of training what they give it to the brokers is you cannot even expect, but just that they have been constantly coming to the office, training all the brokers, and that's something, is a key point for the brokers to understand and learn. And of course, as Haider said, how they are evolving and the technology shift, definitely we have to keep on constantly, abreast with whatever changes they have been doing, So like, for example, they have this leaders board. They have recently, I believe, a year back.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Over a year back, they had got this leaders board, and for sure, it's a lot of competition within the offices. We have different offices on the secondary side, so the brokers are competing who wants to be on the leaders board. So and with following the regular compliance with regards to the listing verification. So that's something which in fact, if I go back and if I look at the history of portals, so they had Bayut, I'm talking about a few years back, there were tons of listings. Everybody used to list any kind of properties. But now, once after all these, true checks and verified listings, the listing quality has improved. There are no fake listings. So, matter of fact, it's easy for buyers, the investors to basically look into,
makes sense.
Get the right information, and that's where we have the added advantage as well. We have a dedicated team which basically checks, do the due diligence, and then perhaps at the back end, same thing is done by Bayut. So it's been two sides verification, and that's where. So Bayut is overall helping us as well, to make sure we are on our toes, making sure we have the right listings as well.
Completely. I completely would say that. There's been a huge shift in the industry, right? So if we go back, there was no real good way of finding out if a listing was actually, a property was actually available, and we did things over there back then as well. But now we've been working very closely with the land department. We're very well integrated with them and their systems. Brokers have to get permits. We make sure that all listings have permits, so we don't want to put non-compliant stuff on the platform, which, as Porush correctly pointed out, that it's good for everybody. It's good for the broker who puts in the extra work. It's also good for the people who are viewing the properties because they know it's available. But again, I think just if I were to touch on one thing over here, which is the way we see this, with Banke and working with them and others in the industry as well, is this is we call them partners. We don't call them clients, because when a buyer starts a journey, they will reach out to them through our platform. Okay, so we're part of the journey.
Yeah.
We're not the entire journey.
Yes.
And then when the lead is handed over, the person is connected with the broker, let's say Banke's end, then they continue that journey with them.
Yes.
Right? So we're really in that entire journey. We're in the beginning, and then then it's over to them, and that's why we work so closely with them to make sure that we understand their needs, because they're paramount to us, but also what can we impart from our side to make sure that overall journey is good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if those people are not happy, either of our businesses won't exist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
because,
teamwork.
Yeah, because
it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because then you use the credit to basically advertise the right listings.
Mm-hmm.
There are no duplicate listings or because the reason why what Bayut has constantly been doing is upgrading the algorithm techniques,
Sure.
because we have to be on, that's what I'm saying, we have to be on top of the game. We have to, for example, in some instances there has been, also a checkpoint wherein the prices have been, for example, we have listed a broker is new, and of course we have checked the prices, but the prices somehow it's been missed because the CRM team, okay, they are great at what they do, but sometimes the price point of a particular community they might skip, they might not know. But at the end of the day, Bayut advises us again
Sure.
in terms of that this is the price range to advertise and so on.
And I that's where this partnership is so important, because we
Yeah.
have to work hand in hand. At the end of the day, we're just trying to make sure that the person who is looking to buy property in Dubai or in UAE in general is a happy customer of the UAE and
Exactly.
Dubai.
Yeah. And as somebody who uses the website personally, and I have tried looking for properties, it's nice also to see over the years that it was flooded with so many properties that you don't
Sure.
know if it's real, is it going to be real,
Sure.
is it available, is it not available? Some people forget to
Yeah.
take them down,
Sure.
and you get disappointed and disheartened. And then when you find Bayut, Banke, you can trust. And I feel like that's the big word,
Yeah,
that when
I mean-
you find somewhere that you can go and it's reliable and it's easy to use and it listens to you, you can actually trust the platforms, and then you
Yeah.
come back and then you have regular customers.
Yeah. We launched a feature, it was about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's called True Check, and back then the way to verify an actual property was for us to ask them to submit documents for that property. Say,
Yeah.
okay, it's a real property. But then we went one step further, and we're the only ones to do this, where we said, okay, we're going to ask the broker to actually go to the property and, using our app, take a photograph of the property,
Wow.
which is geotagged. So it means you were there.
There, yeah.
And you took a photo and comes into our back-end ops, and we make sure it's the same property to make sure it's also available, right? Because a lot of times
Yeah.
you could just list a property, but it's not available.
Yes.
And you want to avoid those kind of things. And that's why I say it's a partnership, because there was a lot of skepticism around, people are not going to do this. But I think if you work together and you push good practices, eventually good things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Porush, how do you feel about 8 of your agents, females, being on billboards right now?
So technically, it's so this billboard thing. It's all over the town, I believe. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's
Go girls.
Yeah.
Go girls.
So no, we have
Always.
Go
ladies.
Yeah. So no, we have a few men as well now. So before initially, yes, but yeah, it has given them some boost of in terms of they all, I believe, this billboard have made all the agents across, I believe, all the companies, to be out there doing the right thing, because just that you are not on the billboard because you're doing more transactions. It's not because of that. It's because of you are doing the true check. You are making sure you are picking up the phone, answering the calls. So it's all about their ranking, so how it is, and based on a lot of techniques wherein they are on top of the leaderboard at Bayut, and that's where we select them. And in fact, they select together.
I think
positive.
It's positive.
Look, it's such a large part of this community over here, this industry, right? Like real estate in general, of the economy itself. And I think we are always just thinking about how do you get people to do better than what they're doing, and then when they do, you recognize them. And there's no better way to we've taken some of these billboards, they're 250 meters long.
It's huge. It's
and
very big.
And I think it's good to showcase the people who put in so much effort. Right? You have to realize I think a lot of people think about the glory and the blitz of real estate, but it's a lot of hard work. It is a lot of hard work. Right?
Exactly.
And you would know a lot better
absolutely.
than I would.
So today we of course all feel that that this is, I'm talking about outside world, that this is, the hoarding is there, the picture is there, but just that a lot of effort has gone into this. And to be honest, they are the ones who have made this change. These are the brokers who have made the changes in terms of how the real estate looks like. So everybody wants to be like them. So I believe this has got some sort of standardization in terms of how brokerage is done. And
I think they're the best marketing agents that the city can have or the country can have, right? Because they are the ones who promote. They pick up the phone and they talk to clients outside of the UAE as well, right?
Exactly.
They're the ones who are promoting, advocating the city and the country at large. So I think it's only fair that we put them on a billboard.
Give them recognition.
Which is give them recognition.
And get everyone else to work harder.
And if you want it, just work hard.
Work harder.
And if you work harder than that person, then you're up there, and then maybe they will take a cue from that and work harder than you, and so everybody just moves up, right?
What's next, Burj Khalifa?
No, I think we're happy with where we are. I think we're happy with
billboards.
It needs to be something accessible. And you just go and a lot of people like to go and see it. So, but no, I think we're happy with where we are.
You're good with that. Yeah. What are the biggest challenges? If you're having to look at the online space right now, is there challenges?
I think there are always challenges, and if there aren't, then I don't know what that place or world would look like.
What about earning trust? Like I said, trust is a massive thing.
So
coming to you.
So look, I think a lot of the tools that we've launched, right? So this recognition program for brokers, it's called True Broker. When you want to find the digital valuation, it's called True Estimate. When you want to find real properties that are available, it's True Check. So you will see that this theme True is on almost all of the products that we're releasing now, and it's not by coincidence. It's by design because I think a lot of these things help build trust for the consumers, right? These are the things that you want to connect with a good broker. You want to see real properties. You want a good idea of what the fair value of a property is. So when you have this, and so that's but it's easier said than done. It takes time. You need to educate people, and that takes a lot of time. And property market is not one of those things where you're just constantly looking for a property, right? Once you found it, maybe you will come back after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the number is. And maybe we launch these tools in between, so we always have new customers when they come and look again. I think you correctly pointed out. I think just building more and more trust amongst all the stakeholders, them, us, and the consumers is what's key, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples that you would like to maybe do or change in your platform?
No, I think it's constantly evolving, right? So very recently, we launched what we call True Broker Stories. And historically, our kind of platforms have been, you come to the platform and you only see properties and that's it. And I believe we're the first ones to bring this concept of stories on top, right? So these are stories from the brokers about the properties. So now, social selling is becoming a thing. So now, when you go to Bayut and you go to the Bay Marina page, you can actually see stories from the brokers on top, just like you do on
like
Insta and other platforms. Yeah. So you can just click through them, and they're talking about the property.
Okay. So it's more personal.
So it's more
like
personal, right? So
Okay.
again, it helps build more trust, right? Because now you can. Earlier, you would see a picture of the person.
It's just a picture.
Now you can hear them talk.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's one step closer before you pick up the phone and you call them. Right?
So, it's a fantastic idea, and something I believe everyone is excited. They go and do these stories, So anyways, but that's more professional, of course, and it's more live. It's latest. It's fresh.
And it's engaging, right?
Yeah.
It's conversational.
Yes.
You see a property, it cannot talk to you.
Sure.
But
a person can.
It stays for 24 hours as well, right? It goes
No,
on.
I think we're at a week now,
Okay,
right?
a week.
Because what we figured out was that the audience is a captive audience. It comes, and property cycles are not the same as, let's say, like an Instagram story where you just.
Sure.
Yeah, it disappears.
Actually, I'm not a great expert at it, so I don't know if it's clicking or. I
It's
don't know.
there for 12,
I don't know.
24 hours and then
Yeah,
it disappears.
but the property cycle is a bit longer, so we keep it around for a little bit longer.
You're keeping it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
How is Banke ensuring accuracy also on Bayut?
So as I said earlier, we have a good team, backend, the data management and the CRM. So we do our due diligence as well in terms of making sure we have all the documents. We verify the title deed name is correct with the passport copies and all those things. And plus, of course, we have to submit this as well with for the approval of the youth in a sense, and before they basically make it verified, and then it's technically being live. So I believe it's a teamwork, and but yeah, we follow all the process, DLD process as well, because we have to take the permits from DLD as well to market any kind of property. So all those checks are in place.
I think from what I can tell, I mean, they run a good process inside, with the different departments focusing on different things, and that just really alleviates a lot of the issues, because if you're getting content, we will make sure that it's legit, right, by making sure that it has the permit and everything. But they already put in the hard work, so we don't actually, it becomes very easy. And I think it talks very loudly to the setup that they have internally. I think it's a really good setup, where the different teams just focus on getting their things done, and they do a great job at it.
Yeah, even for example, a photographer, if he's going out and shooting 8-10 properties in a day, so which properties or what, at the end of the day they have to. Also, there's a lot of work behind the scene, so they have to make sure that this is all the pictures of a particular property. The property is cleaned up before they shoot, and
I mean, it's such a minor detail, but just the fact that they have a professional photographer going and taking pictures. A lot of decision makers or a lot of buyers in the market make their decisions based on pictures.
Yeah.
So just putting that effort, it's way more beneficial than maybe taking out your phone and taking a few snaps here and there, right? Poor lighting, all of that. So again, I think that also talks to how a good system needs to work. You need to pay attention to these things.
I'm also asking these questions because I'm intrigued to know. I feel like this is a podcast that is behind the scenes. So if you ever want to know how the back end works,
Sure.
this is the podcast you need to be watching, because we're delving on all the secrets right now. But we're also talking about everything. So if we were to talk about the shifts when you're noticing when it comes to villas or apartments or living in sub areas, how do you guys see that? As a property seeker myself, I'm trying to find out the different trends when it comes to buying apartments and villas. Could you tell us about that?
So it's very subjective, choice is very subjective. I believe, the trend, of course, after COVID, technically, people have started, that they think that we need to have the best life, on the ground where we can have some air, instead of stuck up in the apartment where of course they can still go to the balcony and have some air, but just that some sort of
Freedom.
accessibility, freedom, and just
Backyard maybe.
backyard playing some some more space.
Yeah.
So
Space
it
is
all
huge.
started from there, but just that also, of course, usually townhouses and villas are in a community, so they want to be part of that community instead of a standalone, building wherein the. So and of course the service charges are pretty low compared to the apartments.
Yes.
But having said that, again, there's huge demand for apartments as well. Okay, because there are some dynamics wherein people who have a smaller family, when somebody who's a bachelor or a family of two without kids, they still prefer to be in an apartment because at the end of the day, what they will do with a villa, because villa or townhouse minimum is three bedroom, that's where it is. But yeah, as of now, price points, yes, I believe over the last 5 years, it has appreciated both in villas and in apartments, but yeah, more to an extent in villas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's I think you pointed this out, but it's in the life cycle of a human
yeah,
or a family, or
Yes.
you start, you're a couple, you have kids, and then the kids go on about their own lives, and then you're a couple again, right? So you kind of go through this
Yeah.
this
Transitions.
trajectory, right? Which is I think apartments make more sense early on, and then when you're having a growing family, a townhouse makes sense, and then when the kids are out of the house, you probably want to be
Back
in
in
an
the
apartment
apartment.
again,
Yeah,
because
that's-
you can go to the
And then you
coffee
get a
store
dog,
downstairs,
and then you need a villa.
you can go to the coffee shop or whatever. Right? So,
Yeah.
and I think that's why all these segments have done well, right? So you see people of all ages moving in, and families and single, and again, you would know better than me in this regard of the actual client base, but I feel like apartments have done well, villas have done well, but I do agree there was a big shift towards villas right after COVID, because I think everybody kind of wanted a bit
yes.
more
Bigger space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and if you do the searches, the majority searches are in the price range of below 2.53 million.
Yeah, I mean,
Bayut,
because
majority of them. That's where
that makes
apartments.
That makes a lot of sense, right? Because a lot of people, I mean, sure, you have the ultra luxury segment, right, and then
Yeah.
you have the villas, which are for bigger families or families with children. But I think it's just if you just look at the breakdown of the kind of properties we have, the largest quantity is on apartments. And then it's the villas and the townhouses, right? And
Wow.
right, so yeah, I mean, just go to your top transacting areas are Dubai Marina, downtown, Business Bay, JVC, right? So value-wise, I mean, so that mostly apartments.
The 14,000 units sold in JVC apartments last year.
Yeah.
So it's huge,
Yeah. But I think again, we do see a lot of interest in villas as well, and typically I think. You see a lot of brokers engaging on villas also because they're larger ticket items, and so one deal
Bigger money.
can pay more.
Bigger
Right?
commission.
So I think that's why there's a lot of interest over there, and I think also if I just think about kind of the supply side of things,
Yes,
I think
there's-
it's pretty tight on the villa
Yeah.
side, right? If I would think, right?
But it's
Pretty tight.
growing. Like if you
It's-
drive out of Dubai and you start seeing the areas are growing.
Yeah, it's growing, but just that
Developments
you need much more bigger plot.
Yeah.
I'm talking about land size, land parcel, wherein
Exactly.
to build a villa community, then a residential. In one residential building, you could have 300, 400, 600 apartments.
Yeah.
Which is that to have 600 villas, it needs.
It's a
massive-
huge project, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge project.
Project,
So I think it's interesting because there's a lot of development happening on the Kudra side and
Yes.
around there and towards Dubai South, the villa demand is pretty high from what we see. People, the few units that hit the market get gobbled up pretty quickly, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. How is Bayut and Banke like working together to deal with the demand and like looking at how your partnership together helps with that?
Look, I mean, I think we work at so many different levels.
Yeah.
It's difficult to identify one specific thing over here, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to what we've seen on Bayut is that we search volume is at an all-time high, and that's also reflecting in the transaction volume as well. The city and generally the country at large is doing really, really well when it comes to real estate. And what we can do more, I believe, is just provide them better insights in terms of helping them understand where should they be looking at next in terms of sourcing inventory, right? So along those lines, we earlier this year we acquired a Property Monitor, which is the leading business intelligence platform for brokers. So a lot more depth and insights into what's happening in the market, which is probably best geared towards brokers because they need to develop a deeper understanding. And so we're looking at how we can develop more tools around there to really help brokers understand at a much deeper level of what's happening. And so they can guide their clients, both sellers and buyers, correctly.
Yeah, even this true estimate is quite exciting.
And then true estimate, exactly. So all of those things are, again, just to help the brokers become really experts and perhaps experts in certain areas so they can really provide the best level of service. At the end of the day, it's a service industry.
Yes.
And it all comes down to happy customers.
Yes.
Exactly. So we know both of your companies and they're so well, so loved, so trusted. But do tell me the Banke story.
So Banke, it all started with 101 tiny office on Sheikh Zayed Road back in 2013, with 4 people. Now, of course, fast forward 12 years, I still believe we are just 12. We are not even teenager. A lot of things to do, but just that 12 years, yes, we have more than 650 people all across. Of course, we have gone internationally. So I've been in Dubai real estate over 20 years now, so doing real estate. And of course, I've seen all highs and lows. So I believe, yes, the market is evolving, market is changing. But just that, I also believe that we have to always constantly diversify. Okay, this is a great market to be in. UAE, trust me, people have changed their lives. I myself have changed my life, So I came to Dubai back in 2005 with nothing in my pocket, just 1,000 dirham, and that's where it all started. So Dubai has given us everything, So I believe that's the same story with you as well, right, Haider?
Absolutely.
And now, of course, with international offices, we also want to basically, international offices, not just to sell Dubai, okay, it is also to sell, the local market as well. So now that's my wish list in years come, next 3 to 5 years. We want to have, in UAE market, our internally, business is around 50% and 50% from the international markets because selling international properties, and there's a lot of opportunities for cross-selling, where in my South Africa office, selling something in London and in London office, they just sold basically a hotel in Cape Town. So that's something which is always, evolving, changing, and things are moving in the right direction. So that's what it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Shall we hear the Bayut story?
Sure.
How did you start?
So I think our story is very similar to Banke's story. But Bayut was started earlier. And I have 2 other brothers. They founded the business. And I joined later. I joined in 2014. It was a few years after they had started the business. But it was a small office. It was 3 people and myself. So you can make that 4. And we kind of started at the same time. It's 2014. He mentioned, Porush mentioned 2013. So we've kind of grown together, and just try to stay focused on the business and grow the business. And I think we've had great people in the business, and it's been a privilege to work with them and get the business to where it is today. And we look forward. And frankly, a big thank you to all of the partners, including Banke, for being there with us in this journey as well. So just look forward to the next
Few years
whatever is to come. Yep.
How are you planning on keeping your teams motivated? Because I know that you say it's you, but it's also your team. How are you keeping them motivated as the lifestyle's changing?
Yeah, it's a constant thing, So of course, touch wood, we have been blessed to have a great team, because I believe, without a good team, solid team, you individually can only reach to a certain level. You cannot basically. We always believe that brand is not built by individuals; it's been built by a team. and that's where it is. So, of course, we have to constantly keep them motivated. Yeah, to some extent, yes, because this is fairly commission-driven industry. So the agents which we hire, we have to make sure that we give them a competitive incentive structure, as well as something with regards to constantly we have to do monthly rewards with them. We have to give them a lifestyle, holidays. We have this millionaires club wherein anyone who has done a business worth $1 million dirham, and we take them out internationally. So every year we see more and more people coming into that club. So I had an article on the National. There was a question and answer there. So technically, as we speak, we have made more than 105 millionaires over the last 13 years.
That's great.
It was 100 in the article, 5 more added.
Wonderful.
So that's something so inspiring to see all these people. They're putting in so much effort, and they all have the similar story. What Banke story? They all have come from different background. They are hungry. They want to basically prove themselves. And wow, Dubai has given them, all of us, best platform to basically prove our abilities. So yeah, that's again coming back to answer your question, that in terms of the agents, wherein we have to constantly keep on making sure it's also not only the incentive or holidays, but also we have to keep on constantly coaching them, guiding them. Sometimes they feel that they are doing so much, but still the results are less. Sometimes they are seeing others doing pretty good, and they feel that they are not doing anything. So it's constantly a mind game as well with them. So we have to educate them, guide them. So we have a good training team as well, wherein we constantly sit down with them and say that this is where it is. We are moving on the right track. Do your 1, 2, and 3s. This is what is expected out of you, and I believe that's what it is.
Yeah. And do you still both do your awards? Because I know. I was with you when you did your awards, and I know the Bayut has an awards as well.
Yes,
that's sort of like a little motivation as well,
Yes.
to give the team a little incentive as well.
Also, they need to be recognized as well in terms of what effort they have been putting. So now we have all our senior leaders. We make sure that they share their experiences with the people. So we have started this podcast, and we want to continue the episodes wherein we want to know more about them. Of course, Banke, Bayut people are aware about what they can read through, but what about these people who have created, who have made Banke to that level? So we have got good leader, basically good leaders in terms of they have been with us for 8 years, 10 years, 7 years, long time, and they have made.
I think one of this is probably the last point was I touched upon is it matters so much in a business having people, but to have that consistency, they need to you need to have people who've been around, and I think those are the kind of the strongest pillars of the foundation, if you say, because 8-10 years with you, one is one speaks really well of you as an organization to be able to keep them, but also the fact that those people add so much value and have added so much value. They're just a tremendous asset.
And how about the future and the next generation of brokers, or the next generation for you? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, certainly. So next generation again. So the other day, this is constantly I've been talking. We had the intern. Every year we have this practice. We get a lot of 17, 18-year-old kids. They have this 6 weeks program wherein they go through each department. They learn what's in real estate. So I had the opportunity to spend some time with them. And I asked them. One thing I asked them, that how much time you all spend on, anybody who on Insta who spends less than 3 hours. Nobody raised their hands. So I said, great. Then I said 4 hours. Nobody raised their hands.
Oh, wow.
Then I was constantly going, then 6 hours. Then everybody were raising their hands. So basically, that's where it is. Things are looking around, that people are spending a lot of time on social media, which is important. And also I asked them one thing, who sleeps before 12? Nobody raised their hands. So I believe, again, the answer, the question is integrated. Why I've just deviated, because the next generation brokers, they need to be very disciplined. They need to be completely 100% committed to what they want to actually do, because a lot of brokers have thought that this is a part-time job, real estate, Dubai, you make money, this is something you come, you can have something else on the side. No, this is a full-time work, full-time role, and it's not a 6 or 8 hours job. You have to work actually, the calls comes even at the odd hours, so on the weekend, so you have to constantly be chasing, making sure chasing your dreams, and then only you will be successful. So again, I also believe that discipline, I always say this, because Dubai is such, people get attracted, again, people be here, in terms of sleeping late, getting up early, they spoil their health. So it's important that they have to make sure that they are 100% disciplined. And I always say that discipline starts when you don't come to the office in the morning, when you leave the office in the evening. Because what actually you do in the next 4-5 hours when you go home, so whether you are, what you're watching, what are you talking about, whom you're meeting. So that's, to summarize, yes, they need to be 100% committed and disciplined.
I think, look, I mean, I'll just kind of generalize it. I think irrespective of what you do in life, whether, it's broker or some other role or job, just people need to, and kids especially these days, need to understand that they need to work hard. That's it.
Yeah.
There are no shortcuts. You can get lucky every once in a while. Somebody will get lucky, but you could play the lottery if that's the case. But everybody doesn't win the lottery, right? So just work hard, and there's just no compromise. And at the end of the day, or at the end of your career, whenever it is, you should be able to look back, and I think the only thing that you shouldn't be able to question is, did I give it my best? This is what I tell my kids also, just, do your best. The rest is okay. I'm not too pushed. But if people don't do that, you're selling yourself short. Dreams are great. Work for them. Yep.
Yeah. So again, see, everybody, we have countless thoughts during the day. So again, thoughts, then basically planning. Yeah. Planning is still, I always say that from thought to planning, only 5%, 10% of the people, they do that, But just that planning to execution is challenging. Yeah. So once you have planned something, planning is done in the air-conditioned room, right, in the boardroom. So you plan.
I think that, again, I think just comes down to also understanding your limitations, right? And in business, we see this, and a lot of people learn the hard way. And we have to, in certain circumstances, that there's a lot of things you can work on. Yeah. But really be good at that one thing. Like, it's a lot better to be good at one thing to be average on a lot of things. Be the very best at that one thing, right? And if it's a broker, be the best broker you can be in the world. Like, forget, the city or the town, whatever. Just be the best at you. And for that, to me, is directly proportional to the amount of effort you put in. Exactly. And the hard work you put in. That's simple,
because
and hopefully the reward is tied to that as well.
And there's so many different verticals, So this is where constantly we have to guide them, that you choose any vertical, whether it's commercial, whether it's residential, off-plan or secondary. You choose one and focus and specialize in that vertical, because that's the key. How much.
One of the things that comes up quite a bit these days is what is the relevance of a broker in the future, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, with a lot of the world changing with AI and all that. And I think, and I've always believed this, and I've said this for the last decade as well, that fundamentally us humans need that reassurance, or that trust, or whatever you want to call it, especially when it comes to property, which is a very large purchase, if not the largest purchase for a lot of people in the world. So when you're doing that, you need somebody to tell you it's okay, or guide you so that you make an informed decision. And I think that's where, the brokers play such a key role, if they stand true to the person who's actually looking to buy or sell and represent their best interest. and we humans, I feel, I could be wrong, but that's what I felt.
Sure.
Is we need that connection. We need that trust, and we need that reinforcement, and the knowledge sharing. And that's why if you're an expert and I'm not, then what you tell me matters a lot to me versus somebody else. Right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
I feel like we've learnt a lot today.
Wow.
I've seen the behind the scenes of both your businesses. I feel like we got a motivational speech, and we also learnt how to use the platforms better. And I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. Haider. Thank you,
Thank you.
Porush.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for being with us. Thank you so much for joining us at the Banke View. We can't wait to see you next time. We're committed for the conversation to spark more new ideas, drive that innovation, and of course, celebrate leadership and excellence. Until next time, keep your vision strong, your goals clear, and your ambitions limitless. See you then.